Aquarius 2024 Horoscope. If I may be so honest with you, Aquarius, this is a transit and thus a year that changes everything. Hi, my name is Lulu Lunar and welcome to my cosmic corner of the internet where we discuss all things astrology and today all things Aquarius in the year 2024. We talk about the major themes and transits that you can expect, my water bearers, as you navigate this year ahead. And may I offer a spoiler alert, it's a big year. If you are unfamiliar with me or my work, lovely to meet you. I want you to know something that's so important to me, and I thread it into everything that I do. It is leveraging astrology as a tool. I'm not here fear-mongering. I'm not here delivering this information in a disempowering way where you feel like you're a victim to the harsh and scary planets. I'm presenting this information as the astrological weather that you will be experiencing and how you can essentially synchronize your goals to align with where the cosmos is nudging you and guiding you. This is part of my new series, the 12 Days of Cosmos, where I'm taking every single sign through the major influences for them within 2024, the major themes that they will navigate, as well as delivering some soul center, celestial affirmations, which they can lean upon as a touch point as they continue to navigate through the year. I'm going backwards in order, which is great news for you, Aquarius, as you're towards the top. And you're going to want to follow the series of your rising sign, which will be the most accurate for you and your universe, and to a lesser degree your sun sign, which may also have some themes that you are feeling. You are so welcome, you rebels, to additionally follow your Mercury sign, your Venus sign, your Mars sign, to see if those messages resonate for you as well. Rising and sun would be the ones that I would definitely follow, and those will be posted every single Monday until all the 12 days of Cosmos are there to support you as you navigate the year ahead. Aquarius, we have a lot to discuss. This is a major year for you, so let's go ahead and take it into 2024. For the Aquarium's new foundations, the defining transit for you this year is Pluto re-entering Aquarius for good this time. The year starts out with Pluto in Capricorn. It enters Aquarius on January 20th, where it will stay until it doubles back in Capricorn in September, October, November, and then settles for the long haul in Aquarius. So let's talk about what that means for you, Aquarius. First, I want you to know that if you have Aquarius placements between 0 degrees to 2 degrees, you are having a Pluto transit this year, and these themes will be particularly accentuated. But even if you're not having it, definitely pay attention to what is reverberating both within yourself as well as within society and humanity around you. Keep in mind, I'm delivering the spats. You already have one ear to the future. You have your psychic radio tuned into the frequency of the future. Whether or not you know that, you have that gift. That's what Aquarius placements are able to do. That's why Aquarians are the trendsetters. That's why Aquarians will find a random artist on SoundCloud who has only 20 views, then a year later the artist blows up. Aquarians are uniquely tapped into where humanity is going. You could even observe where it comes to astrology transits, where it comes to where the collective is going, that there are certain trends you can observe and that you're always ahead of the curve. That could be frustrating sometimes, like you're waiting for society to catch up. You're like, this is where we're going. So when I'm delivering this information to you, I want you to know you could already be feeling this baking and building within you. We did have that foreshadow of this energy last year in 2023. So also observe what was coming alive within you at that point. Whether you're having a Pluto transit this year or not, either way, you are tapped into this energy of Pluto. You are rocking with Pluto till and into 2043. Let's talk about what this means for you. Pluto is the planet of destruction and rebirth. It is the planet of power. It is the planet of reinvention. With Pluto shifting Capricorn to Aquarius, I have a lot of thoughts on that collectively. The power is shifting from big business and structures to the people with the energy of Aquarius. I do think that there are going to be certain power struggles with Pluto and Aquarius around artificial intelligence or humanitarian battles or endeavors. The power is shifting from the status quo to a new way of doing things. This is sort of an energy of a certain empire falling and a new era beginning. A new paradigm is building. A lot of you may find that you're being called upon to embody a leader within your community, within your industry, within your business, or wherever it is that you show up. You might be like, Lulu Lunar, you're asking me to save the world? That's a daunting task. Keep in mind that what you want on the macro, you must embody on the micro. And you do have the capacity to embody that. You might be called upon with Pluto and Aquarius to rise up to be a leader, and that doesn't mean you need to get into politics. You can be that leader within your community, within your family, within your business, but with Pluto and Aquarius, you may be feeling this call to help usher humanity into this new age, into this new era. You may be called upon to use your leadership abilities in order to guide the way. Usually, when we think of leadership, we think of your sister sign, your opposite sign, Leo, which is obviously a great leader itself. But I think Aquarius embodies the sort of leadership where it's really contemplating the people. I think that's such an amazing leadership when you are truly leading your community, feeling connected to your community, being one of your community, not leading from where it is, I'm the star, I'm the boss, listen to me, follow me. With Aquarius leaders, it's typically somebody who does identify with the people that they are connected to and want to create change. I feel like your rulership really embodies that energy of how to work with the status quo while at the same time innovating and moving us towards the future that you are tapped into naturally. Your two rulers are Saturn and Uranus. I use traditional rulers within my practice, and I will talk about both of them in a moment in the Where is my ruler section. But I think when we take the energy of Aquarius, it all boils down to having Saturn as a traditional ruler and Uranus as a modern ruler. Saturn is how things are done. Structures, responsibilities, discipline, and Uranus is being able to disrupt, breaking the rules that don't make sense, moving us towards innovation because you have to know the rules in order to break them. You embody that, Aquarius. So many of you can be called to help humanity moving from this period to 2043. And you can weave that into your business, you can weave that into your art, you can weave that into your music. But again, you're already tapped into the future. So you are helping humanity get to the future that you believe in for those humanitarian values, that you believe in for the way technology or innovation can truly improve our human lives here on Earth. As empowering as Pluto energy can be, I'm going to be straight up with you, Aquarius. It can also be very traumatizing to a certain extent because Pluto is about rebuilding. And to rebuild, we must first destroy what was there. That is a theme this year around new foundations. We cannot get that new foundation until we take a wrecking ball and destroy something within our life. For a lot of you, this is going to be an identity that you are destroying. You could have always seen yourself as maybe Maggie, the interior designer, then there could be something baking and building within you about, but that's not who I'm evolving to be anymore. That identity feels like a sweater that is too tight. It just doesn't fit anymore. For some of you, that can be a grieving process because of the evolution that you're experiencing, or maybe because that identity didn't truly resonate with you or wasn't working for you. But for others, it might be like, gosh, it's a good sweater. Why does it not fit any longer? I like being an interior designer. Why do I feel like I'm literally repelling this job I love, this city? Why am I feeling called to move? There can be a grieving around what your life could have been had this sweater fit, this job, this relationship, this city, whatever it is that you're being called to shed this year. There could be a grieving around why I wish my word was linear. I wish the sweater felt better. But I just feel this calling to evolve in a new direction. You've got your ear plugged into the future and your future is pulling you. That's why it's no longer fitting. That's why this no longer resonates. Because that future that's there waiting for you is pulling you towards it. And it can be heartbreaking. It can be a loss. It can be a grieving of that prior version of yourself or whatever it is that you are letting go of. I want to be very clear that when it comes to Pluto transit, sometimes you make the decision to burn that arena of your life down, to let go of your life within that city, to release that relationship, to let go of that job. And sometimes the universe makes that decision for you. Like that door slams shut so that you don't have that opportunity to walk through it. Because again, a new era is beginning. Based on where this is transiting from a house perspective, a new you is beginning. And with Pluto transiting here, you are moving into a very transformative experience in regards to how you see yourself and how you identify yourself. Another facet that I want to bring forward about your sign is that you are the popular loner, right? You are very dialed in with humanity and with the collective and with groups of people, but you feel like an outcast when it comes to your inner personal connections. And it could be part of where you're feeling called to be visible, or to make a change, or to stand up for what you believe in. That does feel scary to a certain degree for some Aquarians. Again, not for all, but for some of you Aquarians, there can even be very intense power struggles that you experience. Or there can be people getting very obsessed with you or hating you quite a bit. Pluto governs these very intense, extreme reactions, and you could be triggering people just by being you or just by daring to advocate to a new way of doing things, a new way of being. With the energy of Pluto, it's about stepping into your power and understanding that your very presence could have a very extreme effect on people this year. If you are on social media, you could observe that there's more hate being directed your way at work or things of that nature. You can observe that you're dealing with more jealousy, more people having intense or extreme reactions, and again, you are not meant to fit in. What I want to say is, Aquarius, you are not meant to fit in. You are meant to lead during this time. Let's think about what a leader does. A leader is somebody who is part of the collective, part of the community, but not of it, who is not subject to group. This is how we are. This is how things are. Already done it, which gives the delicate balance between being included into your community and the collective and the like-minded individuals that you align yourself with, and equally being able to maintain your own autonomy and individuality in order to see when something is wrong or in order to take other people towards the future that is there waiting. It requires navigating that balance between being connected to other individuals and also knowing when it's time to introduce a new idea or to call out when something is wrong. A lot of Aquarians are using their voice this year. We'll talk about that with North Node moving through your third house, most likely. But when it comes to Pluto in the first house, you need to stay in integrity because of people's intense reactions, whether they are intense love and getting obsessed with you or intense hate. You need to be able to sit with yourself so that you are not basing your own value on the responses from others, because it's a dangerous way to live and you'll be leading or trying to gain attention for the wrong reasons. With Pluto transiting through a sector, you have to strive to remain as detached as possible from people's intense reactions to you that could show up online or among family or community or work. Again, I'm not saying you need to go in and store up a bunch of troubles, but let's be real. I'm talking to the rebels of the zodiac. And North Node Aries transiting your third house, so some of you very well may be calling things out or really being able to move your workplace, your family into a new direction. Like, hey, this is not right. Just because this is how things are done does not mean this is the way things should be done. And it's also being able to deal with the hate or the intense reactions that standing up for what's right could generate. It's important to highlight Aquarius is the humanitarian archetype, and humanitarians are individuals who are very unpopular during their time, and they whistleblow or call out behaviors that are unpopular. Now, later in history, we're like, oh my gosh, I can't believe we treated humans like that. Again, it was the way things were done. It took people able to be like, hey, this isn't right, which at that time was unpopular. They were booed and had their safety threatened. I'm not saying it's going to get that extreme for you all, but I'm just saying it takes getting comfortable with being unpopular to genuinely move the collective towards changes and towards shifts. It requires being able to embody that role of the weirdo or the eccentric in order to genuinely enact change and genuinely lead. So it's that delicate balance that you are navigating between standing up for the collective and maintaining your own perspective, your own ideas, and most importantly, your own integrity, what you really value, because with your traditional ruler transiting second house, there's a focus upon values this year. We will, of course, talk more about it, and you got glimpses of it in 2023, and you will look back at this year as the beginning of a cycle and the beginning of an era. This is a long process, and for some of you this year, you might feel like you are in the destroying phase. You might feel like you are in that tear-down phase, observing what in your life is no longer aligning for you. I want to let you know that's where Pluto transits can be very uncomfortable, because you are being asked to let go of what was and move into what will be, but there is a transition. Aquarius, I don't want you to feel like everybody needs to rise to the top of their craft and interweave the values and what they want for humanity into it. Be gentle with yourself. That's why Pluto is the planet of powers, because it takes power to be able to walk away from something, even if it's good, even if the sweater is cute. It takes power to be like, no, it doesn't fit perfectly any longer. There's something within my life that doesn't fit. There's something that feels off. When it comes to Pluto energy, you may go through, at certain times of the year, you may go through this energy of feeling very detached, or feeling like you are looking at your life almost as a bystander. There can sometimes be energies around experiencing a certain degree of depression, or even apathy, or feeling very removed or very disconnected from your life, because you just don't recognize it. You just don't resonate with it. You're craving something new. There's a certain temptation of wanting to burn it all down. And with that perspective, I do want to say, be mindful around any sort of behavior that could be self-destructive. That is something that is definitely very important to stay aware of. For us to get to the place of being able to lead humanity into this new era, to be able to weave the visions that you have for the macro into your life within the micro, within your family, within your community, your craft, for you to be able to ascend to the leader that you are within the respective industry that you are in, for you to be able to get to that space. Pluto energy can initiate destroying who you used to be, which a lot of times can be very scary. Pluto energy really reminds us that you can let go of what was or be dragged because the future is coming and you're being called for it. So just be mindful around any sort of self-destructive behavior, because I feel that for some of you there's going to be a certain holistic energy around, well, nothing matters. The world's going to crap. Again, you're being called upon to help fix the world, and it's hard because I feel like some of you might be moving through depression or apathy within your personal life. But for a lot of you, it's going to be just looking at the status of humanity. It's an energy around being connected to humanity, but not fully in it. You have to be able to be removed enough to be able to envision new solutions or a new way of doing things. You are treading through that energy of being in it, but not of it in humanity, because you have to be a little bit removed in order to hold the vision on where humanity is moving towards. For a lot of you, you might not get to the other side of it. You're rocking with this energy until 2043. There might be small whispers and tendrils of this energy weaving through your existence, but it's very important to keep going. That is what I want to say, because when it comes to Pluto energy, there can be power struggles, there can be darkness alive within your world, there can be grief that you are navigating, there can be some intense themes that you are moving through in order to get to the other side, to be that strong leader, that empowered individual that you are moving towards. You are rebuilding your life, and that's not a seamless process, Aquarius. I know this is intense, Aquarius, and we'll get to the other arenas of your life, but this year, you'll be asked to choose evolution, you'll be asked to face your fears, you'll be asked to confront your psyche. You will feel a transformation in regards to yourself and how you've always seen yourself and how you've always seen your life. So while many of you will be feeling this Pluto call for transformation echo into your perspective, your overall lease on life, your overall identity, some of you will feel these themes integrate within your universe in a very literal and visual sense. Some of you could be totally upheaving your aesthetics. You could have a totally different style in the year ahead, or feel the call for a totally different style. Many of you could go through some sort of dramatic alteration to your appearance, maybe getting a lot of tattoos, dyeing your hair in a different color, losing a lot of weight. It can be a major transformation occurring within your physical vessel as well, but a new era is coming and you're leading the way. So let's go ahead and talk about where your rulers are in the year 2024, which tells us a couple of other themes that are coming into your experience. As I highlighted, you have two rulers that you can look at to decipher the major themes that are coming up for you in 2024. I will start with Saturn, as I am a traditional astrologer, and that is the ruler that I would consider, but I'll also highlight Uranus. Your traditional ruler Saturn will be transiting Pisces throughout the entirety of the year, and Pisces is a very dreamy sign. For some of you, I do see this energy where you are learning something new. Your hobbies are shifting and evolving and expanding. So perhaps for some of you, you are getting more into spirituality. You're getting more into a higher level consciousness. If you're not there already. I mean, you're there, but some of you might be taking the next step, wanting to learn more about it, wanting to thread it into what you do, or maybe even earn an income from it. I mentioned money because Saturn will most likely be transiting through the second house of finances, possessions, and self-worth throughout the entirety of the year. For a small majority of those following, perhaps there is a new skill that you are taking on that might help humanity or help connect people to their intuition, or even something that leverages your own intuition in order to make an income. That might be a message for a couple of you, but for the rest of you, I will say there is a focus around finances, possessions, and self-worth. And you might be saying, Lulu Lunar, you were just telling me I'm meant to be this new age leader, taking us into the future, and now you're telling me I have to be worried about my bank account? Yes, that is what I'm saying. First, I want to say that when you're hearing this information about we're leading humanity towards the future, contemplate, can I do this? Could I possibly be able to do this? Could I answer this call from Pluto to help evolve humanity? That's the essence of Saturn training in second house. You are being asked to build your self-worth, because when it comes to second house, it's about what we value, money, possessions, but it's also about how we value ourselves. With Saturn transiting through the second house, keep in mind Saturn is where we are doing our push-ups. You are doing your push-ups for building your confidence, building your ability to be seen and not be affected by the hate or intense reactions that sometimes rocking with Pluto energy can create. With the energy of Saturn in second house, it will ask you to build your confidence, build your self-worth from the ground up. And with Saturn transiting second house, I'll be forthright, there are definitely opportunities to make financial gains this year. But it's going to take place at a slower rate than a lot of you would like. Wish I had better news to share on that, but that's just the reality of the matter, which I know you know, good things do take time. You also have Neptune transiting through this sector, so it's important this year to really strive to see your finances clearly. Really strive to look at what is coming in and what is going out, as well as really look towards what you really value. I see a lot of Aquarians are going to get rid of a lot of stuff this year. Like I said, the energy of Pluto is about letting go, and to a macro level, I really do feel that with Pluto and Capricorn moving into Pluto and Aquarius, humanity is going to shift from the overconsumption that we are currently living in, and I really do feel like you guys are going to guide the way when it comes to that shift. Again, you guys could be the spearheads, and it might take some time for humanity to catch up, but you might have this energy of, why am I buying all of this junk? Why am I trying to keep up with people whose opinions I don't care about? Why every time when I log on social media, I'm being sold all these different things? Like, it's becoming too much. We're destroying the planet, right? With Pluto in an Earth sign, it's like we are destroying the planet, and with Pluto entering Aquarius, there can be this shift from overconsumption, keeping up with the Joneses, and glorifying extreme wealth and extreme consumption. That's at least my hopeful interpretation. But why this relates to you and to having your ruler in the second house is that you could be downsizing, you could be going through things and getting rid of things, because the Pluto energy also echoes that. With Saturn second house, you could be really thinking, what do I value? Do I value these possessions? Do I value this lifestyle? Or am I feeling urged to just put all my belongings in storage and jet set across the world or move somewhere? A lot of you are moving this year. We'll comment on that, but with Saturn in second house, there can be this pressurizing and this downsizing of your stuff. It might not be forever. Maybe you're just downsizing to be able to move and set up a new life. But I definitely see with this energy of Saturn in second house, you're really thinking critically about what possessions you have and really want, and what you spend your money on, to be an honest and accurate reflection of what you value within this experience. When it comes to Saturn second house, things that you want to buy could take time. Some of you are buying property this year, and you could have felt very frustrated because it's been taking a long time, or your finances have been under scrutiny to be able to afford that house or move into this new place. With Saturn in second house, you might find that you have less disposable income in order to put more money towards the sort of environment that you want to live in. A lot of you are prioritizing your home environment this year, and with Saturn in the second house, you might be like, okay, I'm going to be paying more in rent, or I'm going to be pouring mortgage, or have this new renovation project that's going to take up a lot of my finances. So I need to cut out discretionary spending. Like, why am I going to brunch every weekend with my friends when I don't even value Egg Benedict? Why am I spending so much money on TikTok shop when I don't even value these pieces of junk and I don't value destroying the planet? Like, again, you're being asked to embody your values within how you spend money. When it comes to Saturn transiting through second house, it's not that you won't make an income, that you won't make money. But with Saturn in second house, you're thinking more long term with the money coming in. If you're looking for a job or you're looking to purchase something, Saturn energy can absolutely bring delays. I also want you to be conscious with Neptune chilling for any deal that feels too good to be true. Really strive to see things clearly, see your finances as clear as possible, see what's coming in, see what's going out, and ask yourself regularly, does this add to my overall quality of life? And if it does not, let it go. That is a theme with Pluto transiting your sign this year. Let it go. The future is calling. Get rid of things that belong to a past iteration of you and of your life. I'm really seeing that a lot of you are really favoring a more simple way of living this year. Some of you might be paring down your income to a certain degree. I do see a job change, or for some of you, you could be learning a new skill in order to shift jobs in some sort of way. Last year, we wrapped up a cycle of South Node and Scorpio, which for many of you was this energy of letting go of what you thought you wanted within career or the direction that you thought that your career was going to take. For some of you, you might find that this is a time in which you're either rebuilding from that letting go and maybe needing to cut back your spending a little bit in order to prepare for this new start, because a lot of you are learning a new skill in order to shift your career within a new direction in order to maximize income. Again, it's not about more, that every year we have to be earning more. I really feel that's what led to Pluto and Capricorn. Overconsumption, glorifying of capitalism, all that is that spirit of more, more, more. And like I said, with Pluto and Aquarius, we're moving into a new way of doing things. So for some of you, I just see this energy where you actually could be taking a step back. You could be letting go of a career path that does not serve you, or moving from a city that you thought was going to align and paring down your expenses. It's not a step back. You're taking a step back in order to live in more alignment with your values. Again, I don't want that to feel disempowering. Look at your personal Venus placement and what transitings you are having in 2024 that can also foretell some financial themes. You're getting serious about your finances if you work for yourself. With Saturn transit in this sector, you're going to really look at your pricing and ensure it feels fair for the time that you invest. You're really going to want to invest in your business. You're really going to think long term and want your finances to reflect what you're building long term. This is not a time that you're just making it rain willy-nilly. You're really getting serious about your finances. And yes, there's an energy about you may be making less. There might be restrictions. You might be saving up for something big. And that's creating these restrictions. But good things take time. And you're really contemplating what it is that you want to build, what you value. And this can be a time of delayed gratification, of I'm going to live under my means this year in order to prepare for this major move or whatever is baking within your universe. This is definitely a year to be a little bit more cautious with finances, especially towards the end of the year, as your ruling planet Saturn will square off with Jupiter in August and December, which can be a time in which any excessive spending, particularly related to entertainment, partying, recreation, can be met with some consequences or some ramifications. It is important to think critically about where your money is going, what you value, what you want to invest in. If things seem too good to be true, with Neptune in this sector as well, really do your due diligence. Wear your satin hat, investigate, dive deeper before jumping into a new job offer or into a new purchase without fleshing out all of the details. That is going to be really important for you all this year. And really what I'm mostly tapping into when I tune into this energy, it's not so much a lack of money. It could take time. There could be delays around significant purchases or in building your income or something of that nature. What I'm seeing for many of you is that you're really wanting to invest in the right things and you're wanting to invest in yourself. I highlighted that second house has to do with self-worth, and with Pluto going through the first house, you are evolving, you are transforming. With Saturn going to the second house, be willing to invest in the things that do support you in showing up within your true value, things that support you, become the person that you want to be, and hold yourself accordingly within that. I want to highlight you can be experiencing certain blockages this year concerning seeing your true value or feeling that you are good enough. And it's very important this year that you continue to do your Saturn bicep curls towards showing yourself, I am good enough. I was picked for this vision. I am meant to be this leader. Confidence isn't something that necessarily is going to come easily this year. But something you need to know about Saturn energy, yes, Saturn is harsh. It makes us do our push-ups. It makes us get our work done. But it does reward us. And it leaves us on a solid foundation. So be willing to do the work psychologically with Pluto transiting your sign. Do the work psychologically as well as financially in order to really stand within your true value. That might be investing in yourself. That might be investing in your aesthetics in some way or investing in your business in some way. The work is here because it's in the second house, but it's equally here. It's not just throwing money on a new wardrobe to try to keep up or compete, but it's this energy about this is going to allow me to show up as the leader that I am being called upon to be, as well as investing in the activities or whatever it is that allows you to show up as confidently as possible. Your traditional ruler will be direct for the first portion of the year. It stations retrograde at the end of June, and then it will station direct again in October. So just know that the beginning portion of the year might be a time during which you are really feeling this pulse forward, moving forward within your journey, whereas the retrograde might be a time of coming inwards, processing, introspecting. Now, let's shift gears to talk about your modern ruler Uranus. Uranus is transiting through the sign Taurus. So before I get into the Uranian themes that you could feel within the year 2024, I want to highlight a lot of you will feel Uranus themes weave into your universe as this is your modern ruler. It's transiting angular house. But those of you who have personal Aquarius placements between 19 degrees to 27 degrees Aquarius will have Uranus transit this year, so that accentuates all of the themes that I am going to get into. This theme is echoing in multiple ways because when we consider Uranus as your modern ruler transiting through Taurus, the sign of money and stuff, some of you are shaking up your stuff. You're shaking up your finances. You're making money in a new way. Some of you are making money online. Some of you are starting a new online home-based business this year. Randomly, this will be a message for a couple of you, but with the energy of Uranus and Taurus, you're shaking up either your physical stuff, getting rid of stuff, buying new things, making new investments, things of that nature. You also have a new lease on life in regards of stuff. Like if some of you have been overspending and just kind of tapped into consumerism with Uranus and Taurus, you are innovating. You have an unusual approach to money. You can find what you value differs from what those around you value. You're also rocking with Pluto, so people might be like, oh, you're too much, you're too intense this year. But while guiding us into the future, you're going to be a little intense. So when we look at where your modern ruler is most likely transiting, it is most likely the sector around home, emotional state, and family. I highlighted earlier, a lot of you may move. And what I'm seeing is a major shift, like perhaps moving abroad. With your modern ruler meeting up with Jupiter, there's a major shift, a major new beginning. With Pluto also transiting through the first house, I'm really feeling new life energy, like new city, new me, new job. There really can be something that you're shaking up. Some of you might be investing in a house. With Saturn in the second house, you're really wanting to use your finances wisely. You're really wanting to invest it in things that you will appreciate over time or things of that nature. Some of you could be moving, shaking up your home, and some of you could be packing all your bags and going elsewhere. What I also see is that with Saturn transiting this sector, this might be something that your family doesn't understand. You guys are typically rocking with this kind of lone wolf energy. So I'm not worried about it for you all. But I will say there might be some energies coming up around family this year, around feeling like a black sheep, or feeling like your belief systems are different, or you value different things than the people around you. There can be certain decisions that you make, certain changes that you make, that your family members are like, what is this? What are you doing? This isn't like you. And you're like, but I'm transforming. You need to get to know this new version of me. That is the energy here. Honestly, I would say with your modern ruler transiting here, I keep wanting to emphasize that sometimes for us to expand and move forward, we need to contract. You also have Jupiter moving through the sector, and so when we talk about the fourth house, it's the roots under the tree. The top of the chart is the leaves. It's what people see of you. Fourth house, I think of all of the sectors people don't see of you, but are super important. Again, this is a very foundational year. After planets go through the fourth house, they start crawling up to the top of the chart. So you're really contemplating your foundations, what your life is built upon. And a lot could be happening under the surface that people are not privy to or not aware of, that they don't understand, and that is okay. I just see with your modern ruler in fourth house, there can be this contemplation around, what do I want? What's going to make me happy? What's my ideal lifestyle? What are the changes that I'm wanting to make? Some of you could literally be making those changes this year. Some of you could just be in that destruction phase where you're just realizing that your current experience doesn't resonate with you any longer. And you're feeling something building, like there's a seed being planted and it's happening beneath the surface. So when it comes to having this transit here, really contemplate your own emotional state. What's going to make you happy? Some of you with Pluto also in your sign, you can be contemplating your psyche, your psychology, what your life is built upon. And what I'm also tuning into is that some of you might have some lightning bolt moments this year of an old way or an old paradigm or an old idea that you had falling away this year. There could have been certain truths that you felt, like things you knew about your family or about what you wanted out of life, and there might be a crumbling. There might be certain arenas of your life where you realize this here is a lie, or it was rooted as an illusion, or wasn't true to you, or something of that nature. That could be so scary. And when you're like, oh my gosh, I thought my family was like this, and the older I get, the more I'm realizing like that was not a great dynamic, or I thought this was going to make me happy, but I got it and it's not making me happy. There can be certain energies where things that you thought that you knew are crumbling away, and with the energy of Uranus, you're feeling called to shake things up. This won't be the case for everybody, but I definitely see with Uranus transiting this sector, North Node Aries, and Pluto transiting your sign, some of you might be ruffling some feathers around family. With Pluto and your sign, Pluto is a planet of psychology, and you have your modern ruler in the 4th house, which has to do with your emotional state. So some of you are doing some deep inner work, and with Uranus, there could be random flashes of repressed memory from your childhood that you're having this awareness like, hey, that wasn't right. Or like, hey, that shaped my psychology in these particular ways. For some of you, it could be this energy around the awareness of, oh, that's what my family wants. It's not what I want. With North Node and Aries in the 3rd house, some of you are really speaking your truth. You're speaking what it is that you want. You're asserting yourself. You're stating boundaries. The energy of Uranus, it's rebellious. So some of you are rebelling against certain normal ways of doing things that have been permeating within your family. Or you're getting used to being the one who's the lone wolf or the eccentric one. Or you're even calling it how you see it with weird family dynamics like, no, you can't talk to me like that. Or like, no, you can't treat me like that. Because Pluto is transformation and power. With Uranus in the 4th house, some of you might be opening your eyes this year and being like, hey, something needs to change here. Again, that won't be a message for everyone, but I definitely see some of you can be shaking things up within that arena, as well as some of you could find this year you're experiencing ups and downs, perhaps even unstable or erratic emotions this year. With your ruler transiting through sectors, still, that won't be a message for everyone. But for some of you, you could be playing out with your siblings because North Node on Chiron in the 3rd house, where there are certain ways that your family could have done things, and you're having this awakening this year about that not being right and not wanting to stand for it any longer. You could be asserting yourself and really standing in your own power this year. You also could be getting comfortable with, yeah, I'm not like them, and that's okay, it's all good. With the energy of Uranus in the 4th house, with Pluto and your sign, like, you have to be the change. So maybe you're getting frustrated because you feel like your family are still in the past, or they're not appreciating or accepting how you are now, or appreciating the humanitarian ideals that you wish they would appreciate. But again, all you can do is embody that energy and just trust that they will catch up. Stand within your power and trust that they will catch up. I'm not saying everybody's going to fight with their family this year, but I'm saying that some of you could be feeling called to really be embodying your individuality when it comes to family. Really being called to rebel against certain family structures or things of that nature. I do want to share with you, Aquarius, that in April 2024, your modern ruler Uranus will align with Jupiter. So for some of you, there can be a random move or finding the random perfect house or something unusual happening. With Uranus, we never really know if it's a good surprise or a bad surprise. But I will say Jupiter is the grand benefic, so definitely if you're wanting to move, April would be a very lucky, prosperous time to find that something unusual With the energy in Taurus, it can be a really optimal time to find a property that can make you a lot of money. There could be good news around family or something of that nature baking in the cosmos. Definitely expect the unexpected during that time, but continue to hold that energy around things changing and shifting and transforming. Think, how can I hold that vision around the best possible scenario? Because while change can be a vehicle to get us what we want, it can be uncomfortable. And Uranus can sometimes be like, ready or not, here you go. You're moving across the country or you're moving abroad. You are becoming a parent. Like there can be random, unexpected surprises around fourth house arenas. Around that time, which again would be home, family, emotional state, you could have an epiphany during that time about something that's really going to improve your mental health, or something that you really want out of this world, or something that you want to continue to build within your world. So definitely be open to all of that. Your modern ruler will be direct most of the time, that your traditional ruler is direct, which I love, that your modern ruler will be direct from January 26th to September 1st, and then it will be retrograde until very early 2025. I want to put this on your awareness. When our ruling planet is going direct, we can feel more inspired to move towards the future. Shake, innovate, disrupt all the Uranian themes. Now that we got dialed in with your rulers, let's go ahead and talk about some other transits to have within your awareness in 2024. Of course, Aquarius, a year is a long time, and there are a lot of transits baking in the cosmos for us within the year ahead. I just want to support you with the most important information to acquire at this point in time. I want to get to a couple of big picture themes that encapsulate a lot of where things are shifting and aligning for you in the year ahead. First, I see that you are healing and using your voice. I see this with North Node in Aries within the 3rd house and South Node in Libra within the 9th house. With North Node in Aries in the 3rd house, you're becoming more likely to advocate for yourself. This can be rebelling against family structures that no longer align for you. This can be sharing more on social media. I see that for a lot of Aquarius placements. Also with Pluto energy, you are speaking up for what you believe in, and with the energy of Aries, you're not being fearful of controversy or people not seeing eye to eye with you. It's important as you move into all this Pluto energy that you remain detached around where your perspective can trigger others. Obviously, you're always trying to be respectful, but this is a time that I really see with Chiron transiting as sector 2. A lot of you have been biting your tongue, not wanting to come off in the wrong way or to be controversial. This is a year where you're understanding that for me to be the leader, the mother, the father, the creator that I want to be, it's important for me to be able to use my voice and use it authentically. That's the essence of Aries and North Node, which does align with Chiron. So I see a healing within this sector. Maybe some of you have not been speaking with your siblings, but also on your social media, within your book, within your podcast, whatever it is, there can be this very healing energy that comes in when you are allowing yourself to use your voice and to advocate for what you want. I see that as a major theme aligning for you within the cosmos. And I know I have been a little serious within the forecast. I'm like, you've got to save the world. You've got to get serious about your finances. I see a real creative renaissance in the cosmos for Aquarius placements. Like I said, not all of us have to get into politics or start a non-profit. You can embody the change and intertwine it into your creations, into your fashion design, into your poems. You are going to be prioritizing creativity. I see this with Jupiter entering Gemini on May 25th. This is not great news overall because Jupiter doesn't like being in Gemini. This is Jupiter's sign of detriment. But it's a fellow air sign like you, so it trines any of your Aquarius placements, which typically can bring this energy of luck, of expansion, of growth. Within the 5th house, there's a real expansion in relation to creativity. There could be a desire with Jupiter and Gemini transiting here to get your ideas out via a creative expression. I really see some Aquarians are writing this year. Some of you are sharing more on social media. Some of you are learning a new skill that allows you to express yourself towards the latter half of the year. There's going to be this expansion of fun within your universe and creativity within your universe. I want to highlight that while Jupiter is in Gemini, it will trine Pluto in Aquarius, so many of you could be tapping into your power via a method of creativity, or you can be that humanitarian leader commenting on earlier through the vehicle of your creative expression. Definitely something to tap into. That particular aspect in June particularly has to do with words, which has to do with learning. I definitely see with North Node Aries in the 3rd house and Jupiter entering Gemini, your 5th house later in the year, I definitely see there's an overall 2024 influence around learning something new. It could be a new hobby, it could be a new skill that's helping you transition into a new career. With Jupiter and Uranus in the 4th house, some of you could be working or experiencing gain at home, like an online home business, or maybe you're learning a new skill to be able to embark upon that journey. That could be a possibility. Or you could be learning an instrument. Gemini governs the hands. And on that note of the hands, some of you might be learning tarot or getting more into tarot, a spiritual practice that uses your hands. I see that with your traditional ruler being in Pisces, which is very spiritual, mystical, intuitive. Jupiter and Gemini within the 5th house towards the latter half of the year, you can definitely be feeling more creatively inspired, and you also might be having more fun, Aquarius. And by all means, I know that I've been kind of serious within the forecast, but by all means have fun, network, socialize, party, meet new people. Just make sure with Jupiter squaring off with your ruler in August and December that your fun party time is in alignment with your values, that your fun party time isn't cutting into your finances or your financial goals too much, because that could be a time in which you're experiencing some consequences from that. Now, for the Aquarians who are curious about what's aligning in 2024 for them around love, I do want to say that 2024 can be a year in which you are forced to acknowledge certain connections that you are evolving beyond. Those could be relationships, could be business partnerships, because when we consider Pluto and Aquarius from a house perspective, that's in the 1st house of self. Anything in the 1st house of self is always opposite the 7th house of others. So your own transformation can be echoing within your relationships, making you aware of which connections you are evolving within and which ones you are evolving beyond. Some of you may be feeling cold that it's time for you to release an outdated connection within your universe. With that being said, with Jupiter entering Gemini towards the end of the year, it is a great time to get out there to be dating. There's a very unserious vibe about Jupiter and Gemini within the 5th house, and you could be dating multiple people. You could be reigniting that lust for life within yourself. You could be wanting to socialize and network and connect with other individuals, even if you're in a connection. Jupiter and Gemini through the sector can be a great time to ignite that curious communicative part of your union. Learning a new hobby together, doing something fun, keeping that fun, flirty spirit of your connection alive. But for some Aquarians, I definitely will say, especially if Jupiter and Gemini will trine your Aquarius placements, which will be the case if you have Aquarius placements between 0 degrees to 21 degrees. Aquarius, Jupiter, and Gemini will trine your placements, and it definitely could be a time in which you're more visible and you're more magnetic to life and you're more in the mood to enjoy life, and love very well may be part of that. Those themes around communication and sharing of information and learning would be punctuated around the eclipses. The eclipses land March 25th, April 8th, and October 2nd, and there's another eclipse on September 17th, but that's not in relation to the ongoing story. Aries Libra for your 3rd house of communication, 9th house of travel and higher learning. The eclipse on September 17th will be a harbinger of the work that is ahead next year with North Node Pisces, which will be activating your 2nd house of finances. So again, financial abundance is on the way. You just might need to streamline focus in order to get there. As we know from Saturn, good things come to those who wait. You might need to be a little bit patient, but things will activate for you financially. You might get a foreshadow of that in September, and it really plays out in 2025. So as we wrap up to go through rapid fire where all of the planets are transiting and some themes that you can expect. First, with Jupiter and Taurus transiting 4th house, this is a year that you're being focused more on how things feel rather on how they look. You are contemplating what's going to make me happy, what's going to lead to growth. How can I build my new foundation in a way that will genuinely move me forward to the future that I see within my mind's eye? Then, with Saturn transiting the 2nd house, you are contemplating how your finances fit into that picture, how you could use your finances intentionally in order to build a financial future that you are hopeful for. With North Node transiting the 3rd house, South Node transiting the 9th house, you are really striving to use your voice to communicate your needs, to communicate your perspective as well. With Chiron transiting the 3rd house, you're equally healing anything within you that made you feel it was not safe for you to speak your truth. With Uranus transit in the 4th house, you are shaking up your home. This might be your physical home, changing something within your physical residence. There could be shifts within your family dynamics. But ultimately, you are shaking up your foundations and questioning what will truly make you happy and what it is that you truly value within this world. With Neptune transiting the 2nd house, definitely an important year to have discernment about your finances. You are not seeing your worth clearly, so please do not believe the voice in your head that tells you that you are not good enough. You need to build a muscle with Saturn also transiting here in order to push through those limiting thoughts. With Pluto transiting most likely the 1st house, it does dip back into the 12th house. There's a huge emphasis on your psyche, on what's beneath the surface, and you're starting to really want to shake up externally those shifts that you've been contemplating beneath the surface and really step into the leader that you know that you are destined to be. As we wrap up, I've prepared some soul-centered celestial affirmations for you, Aquarius. These are basically sentences that you can utilize as a touch point as you navigate through these transits to continue to hold the vision around the highest manifestations for these transits to play out within your universe. Those soul-centered celestial affirmations are as follows. I step into my power. When I change, I grow. I confront my fears and evolve beyond them. I invest in what it is that I value. I speak my truth boldly and authentically. I heal whatever blockages caused me to keep quiet on matters that are important to me. Other people's perceptions and responses to me have nothing to do with me. I focus more on how my life feels rather than how it looks. My creativity is an expression of what I value and what is important to me. My creativity is a way that I can lead and empower humanity. I'm open to learn from others. I invest in my hobbies. I'm discerning about where my money is going. I invest in my future and in humanity's future. So, my loves, I hope those affirmations are helpful for you. It's been such an honor to be able to communicate what is aligning for my water bearers within the year ahead. I'm sending you a lot of love. I know Pluto transits can be really intense, but again, continue to rest within the knowledge around if you have Aquarius placements. You incarnated at this time for a reason to help humanity through this transformation, this evolution. You are picked for this mission. I know Saturn in second house is telling you, I'm not good enough, I'm not rich enough, I couldn't possibly make this work. But again, with North Node and Aries in the third house, continue to empower yourself from the inside out. Like really pep talk your mind as you continue to lead the way for humanity. Until we meet again, drink lots of water and stay cosmic.